Lives for Good.
And it's time for us to say good morning to Nico Kleynhans.
Good morning to you and also to the listeners. A couple of days ago, the competition watchdog, and that's the body that monitors anti-competitive behavior, they raided 8 insurance and investment company offices. And those offices were that of Discovery, Hollard Life, Momentum, Old Mutual, Sanlam, PPS, FMI, and BrightRock. Now, notice Liberty Life was not mentioned. They were not raided. It came as a bit of a surprise, but apparently a couple of years ago, this body started investigating these companies. And it is their belief that price fixing was happening. And those investigations were held in secret. Not even the Financial Services Conduct Authority was informed. That was how secret those investigations were. And during the raid, they were looking for confidential data to support what they had already uncovered. So documents were seized, copies were made of hard drives. It is a serious event that happened over there. Now, our challenge is that at this point, there is no actual evidence that has been produced. These are allegations, and I need to make that clear. I'm not accusing any insurance company of anything. I'm saying that the Competition Authority is making allegations, and now they're looking for the evidence which they believe exists. What they are claiming is that these companies shared competitive information, that they shared it online, and that what they did was illegal. Now, I cannot believe that the insurance company boards would have approved this kind of behavior. So if these allegations prove to be correct, it would have been divisions within the company that had done incorrect behavior. Obviously, if those allegations are true, the behavior is unethical, and there will be severe consequences for those insurance companies. The consequences are that an administrative fine will be imposed on the companies. And the administrative fine is equal to 10% of the annual turnover for the years that was being investigated. So we are talking about a fine equal to hundreds of millions of rand. It's not just a small amount, it is a huge amount. And the shareholders are going to have to pay that fine. So it's not something that's going to not have an impact on shareholders. And that's why I'm saying how the boards are going to react is really critical. Most of the boards have since then come out and said they will cooperate completely. And so that is not doubt. Nobody is saying we're not going to work it. We're not going to work with you. You're going to have to prove the events. They're saying we will work with you together, but we need to know what is going to happen going forward. Now, after the Competition Authority has finished, the Financial Services Conduct Authority is going to have to make a decision, because there are ethical issues at stake here that have got to be dealt with. In addition to that, except for Discovery, that has never joined FPI, all the other companies have joined. And there are going to be further consequences from the professional bodies. And that is going to affect some of the sales staff. So this is not a small little thing that is going to disappear in the next 2 weeks or 3 weeks. It's going to take several years to sort out. And it has damaged our industry. Even if it turns out later that these are just allegations for which there was no evidence, damage has been done. Now, part of my concern is, in the last 2 weeks, I have had to attend nearly 10 hours of high-level seminars dealing with ethics. That is how important ethics are in our industry. I've had to take time off work. I've had to go to those seminars. Now, if we deal with ethics on such a serious level, then I'm hoping we're not doing this, and then the big boys are playing games in the background. That has consequences. But how does that affect you, the customer, if those allegations are true? It means that if you took out a policy in the last 2 or 3 years, you paid higher premiums than you should have because the insurance companies knew what the competition was doing, and therefore they could have raised the premiums. It also means if you placed investments with them, that you probably paid more for those investments that you should have. It could have also have meant that if you took any annuities, that in fact you got a lower rate than you would have gotten had there been competition. So the consequences are serious, which is why the industry is looking at this in this particular serious light. But at this point, it is allegations. There is no evidence yet. Now, when these kind of train smashes happened, there has been previous smashes like this. And last time it was when Trevor Manuel was still around. Now, what he did, he said the damage has to be paid out to the victims. The competition authority will keep the damage. It will not pass it to the victims. That seems to me to be unfair, because it looks to me that if I was a customer and I got less money, I should be getting some of those damages. But the law doesn't work like that. And I consider that to be unfair. And I'm certainly hoping that somebody will get some attorneys together, and let's see if we can change that particular ruling, that the victims get benefits if the allegations were true. Lastly, there are a whole lot of new acts that are about to hit the streets. Acts of Parliament. Those are all going to have to go back to the drawing board now, because I think the time has now come that we say to the insurance industry, we can't just only fine you. If you commit criminal acts, those of you who are guilty of that have to spend some time in jail. And I would hope that the regulators are going to revisit some of those acts that are coming out. And I would hope that they're going to say, are financial sanctions, which the shareholders are going to have to pay, are those adequate? Should there be other behaviors that we have to punish in a different way? So I'm sad about what's happened. I find it difficult to believe that officially insurance companies agreed, but I'm not saying it's impossible that certain sections of companies within divisions may have shared improper information.
Thank you, Nico.